we're on our way out of the Temple Mount, and the old city is over to my left at the moment. This building here with the red, black, and white bricks is typical Mamluk architecture from about the 11th or 12th century. Presumably we'll be going through here a little bit more later on. Now we're wandering through the city of Jerusalem on the way to the Garden Tomb. Yael's talking about the 14 stations to the cross and wondering if we're going to make those stops because it seems a little odd for us. We're just outside of the fortress where Jesus was tried, and I guess we're beginning that trek. The second station is marked behind me as well, although I didn't catch what that was all about. Again, this is not part of our tradition. Here is another one along the way. It would seem that we're on the Via Dolorosa. So is this where Jesus walked? Well, as our guide says, it's complicated. For one thing, Jerusalem as we're walking on it today is not the Jerusalem of Jesus' time. As with so many cities in this area, things are built and destroyed and built and destroyed. Jerusalem, like everywhere else, is a bit of a layer cake, archaeologically speaking. We do not walk on these streets themselves, but a street far below here. Jesus didn't walk on these streets exactly, but rather on streets that exist far below here. There are some that have been uncovered, but not all. This area here, this arch, was built by the Emperor Hadrian, who also decided to rebuild parts of Jerusalem, including putting up a temple in what we know of as the Temple Mount. Unfortunately, it was not a Jewish temple, but a pagan one that occupied the spot, which is, by the way, how Queen Helen, Constantine's mother, managed to find where the temple was. Further down the Via, there is this building that, according to the Orthodox Church, is where Jesus was held in prison. Behind me, I've been pointed out to the third station of the cross, but also beyond that, the fourth. And again, since I'm not familiar with the tradition, I'm not sure exactly what they're supposed to be. The irony is that, as it's been explained to me, is that this was devised by St. Francis in Rome to encourage the laity to meditate more upon the sufferings of Christ. These were not set up in the Holy City until much later. So now we've left the Via Dolorosa and are taking a valley street up toward the Damascus Gate and out of the city. And here we are, just about to leave the old city for the moment via the Damascus Gate. Keep an eye on us. One last thing before we leave the old city is to point out the gate here at the Damascus Gate. This is an old Roman gate from that period, which has served as the foundation for the present gate.
Here, and here we are in the Damascus Gate. So, everything which I'm pointing to you now is part of the Muslim quarter, by far the largest part of the city. The Christian quarter is located over here. You can see the tower, the bell tower over there. That is part of the Christian quarter. The Armenian quarter is very close to the Jaffa Gate. It is the smallest and oldest part of the old city of Jerusalem. When you look carefully at the map, you'll be able to see that there are very few streets in the Armenian quarter, and that is because it is actually one very big monastery. The entire property belongs to the Armenian church, and the people who live there rent their houses from the church. So you can see there actually a wall within the wall surrounding the entire area. And finally, the last quarter, the Jewish quarter over here, is the newest part of the city. Why is it the newest part? because it was destroyed. In 1948, when the Jordanians conquered the old city of Jerusalem, they destroyed everything in the Jewish quarter, and only in 1967, when Israel comes back and conquers the old city, the reconstruction started. Not before, excavations were done all over the Jewish quarter, and at the end of the excavations, they started the construction, meaning that here you're going to find an incredible amount of museums and archaeological points. Not because they don't exist in other parts of the city, they do for sure, but it is much harder to excavate under existing houses. Here, everything was destroyed, so it was very easy to excavate the entire area and only then to start reconstruction.